Hello. Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. I hope everyone's having a pleasant. Are we on Sunday? It's a 4-day weekend here in the UK. 2 public holidays, and which means I've completely lost all sense of time and space. I've no idea what day it's on. Apparently it's Sunday. Julian, hello. AC, hello. Glad you guys are here. Let some people roll in, and then we'll get started. I'm trying to. Queco, hello. Connor, Matthias. I need to figure out a better bot system. I kind of just picked up Nightbot because that's what everyone seems to use, but it only works for Twitch. I need to find something which works a bit better across Twitch and YouTube so I can have like common commands. I do have StreamerBot. I wonder if that might do it. There's 2 things I'm short of in this world: hair and time, and so I've just not had a chance to sit down and figure it out yet. Vuna, hello. It's going good. Fubel? Hello. Apologies if I got that wrong. Okay, I think we're going to start because plenty to be doing today. We have started rewiring our mess of a main into better abstraction, pulling stuff out like the player class. I need like a level class. There's a whole bunch of stuff we need, and as you can see here, we wrote a simple, after much debate, a very simple message bus which allows us to connect various parts of the game together via messages. And basically today we're going to be doing more of that plumbing. So the bus can send key presses at the moment, and then the player can respond to them, but the player doesn't kind of fully work that into their logic yet. So we basically commented out all of the player walking and camera logic, and yeah, we need to kind of bring all that into the player class, kind of abstract all that way quite nicely. Well, I'm glad I didn't get it. If there's no right answer, then I cannot have got it wrong, which is good to know. Indeed. For those of you celebrating, happy Easter. David, hello. So yeah, where do we get to on this? Actually, we suppose we could just run it, show everyone a quick recap of where we are. This is the game at absolutely not its best state because a lot of logic has been temporarily disabled, shall we say, hidden behind a feature flag known as commenting out. I was trying to breathe some life into my janky build system. Okay, see if that blends. Okay, so nothing works anymore, but we are receiving messages in the player class, which is nice. So the player registers itself for subscribers. There's a bit of back and forth on this. I might change the I might change the subscriber stuff in the future, so that the subscriber itself what am I saying? The subscriber itself does the subscription, but for now I think it's fine. Like, we can change it later because we don't even have unsubscribe yet. I mean, the message bus is not finished, but it is serviceable for now. So and then we get to message bus. We can subscribe to messages, and then we can post messages. We kind of opted for a separate function per message type that we want to post and therefore receive, which means the code is slightly more The API is slightly more verbose, but I think it actually makes the code a little bit simpler, and it means we don't have to worry about rounder. The big question was like, how do you pass arbitrary data to arbitrary messages? It would probably be std any, or maybe some template shenanigans, but actually it's easier just to kind of be explicit and say, these are the messages I accept with this data, please post it in this format, and then I will deliver it in this format. One thing I think I might do, in fact, let's do that now. This is a thought I had, is to log a warning in the base class. Because this should never be called. If you have registered for a message and then you have not overridden the corresponding handler, I would argue that is a bug. So we could assert, but I'm just going to log to start with, like unhandled message. I think that's fine. And then each of these will have this. Because yeah, if you've said I want to receive key press messages, but you've not given it the handler, like that, I'd argue that is a bug. Something has gone wrong somewhere. The function can't be pure virtual because I don't expect every subscriber to implement every single method. It is totally valid for you to not... Let's go to the player class. Maybe this makes a little sense. It's a good question. We only have one message type, so it's kind of hard to conceptualize, but here we subscribe to the key press message type, okay? And we implement the key press. If there was another handler, right, say, I don't know, handle mouse move, poor example because the player will need that. Say there's event X, right? Player might not care about that, so we want some default class so that I don't have to, every single subscriber doesn't have to create an empty implementation of every single handle type. But if you have subscribed to it, which means through the mechanism of the message bus, it will get called, it should never call this. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, no worries. Like, catch up when you can. They're all up on, these are all up on YouTube afterwards. Have I... Okay, right, so let's go. So I think the first thing to do is this needs to come back. This was a mistake. This is my... So I still think the game loop, like the event processing loop, still needs to tell the game this is an escape. I think... Yeah, because we haven't got any logic yet for handling this. Eventually this will go into like some sort of maybe like level class or game state handler. But for now, we still want to be able to break out the main loop. It's still important that we can exit. So that was a mistake. Then all this we need to start bringing over. So I think we want to be able to move. So all this walk direction stuff needs to come out into the player. Great question. Let me go through that quick. These are const expr ifs or if const expras, which means the body of the function is only compiled if this compile time expression evaluates to true. So we've got, when we visit let's take a step back, right? What is an event? An event is a variant of all the different types of events, and these are just window events. These are just things the window can produce. So it can either say I've stopped, I've had a key press, I've had a mouse press, or I've had a mouse move. Okay, so to handle that, we use std visit, and then there's a couple of ways of doing this. I just chose to do it with a lambda, which takes auto ref arg. So this is a forwarding reference. So this will be the compiler will create a version of this for every single variant type that it could exist. And then I can basically say, oh, if I'm in the stop event, then compile this. If I'm in the context for, then compile this. It means I can call methods on arg that only exist for that type, and the compiler won't complain because it will only compile this. I hope that kind of makes sense. It's a little bit nuanced, but it basically, rather than me creating separate functions for all the handles, it allows me just to, for all the handlers, it allows me just to kind of bung it all into one Lambda. Whether you like it or not, I don't know. That's just the way I've chosen to do it. Yeah, thanks. I hope that makes sense. Cool. We're going to catch up on some of the modern stuff. The point is that like modern C++ is quite complex, and like there's a lot to it. Yeah, no worries. I'm always happy for people to ask me questions, or you can come along to the Discord, and I'm pretty active there. I try and answer people's C++ questions to the best of my ability. We've also got some people who are definitely better at C++ in there as well, who can kind of help fill in any gaps that I have in my knowledge. Lots of good questions today. The underscore is a personal preference of mine to denote members. So I know that when I'm looking at the code, anything that has the underscore suffix is a member variable, so it's part of that class. You don't have to do it. I just choose to do it. I think it makes the code easier at a glance to know what is a member variable and what's a local variable. Programming game in Pygame, and I've inspired you to use OpenGL. Well, I'm glad you found that, and I hope you're enjoying it. And I take zero responsibility for the misery and all the blank screens that you've got. Okay, so let's go player and let's go main. Let's bring over some of this logic. So I want basically. Oh, actually, hang on. I'm going to need some sort of like auto update void, right? Or am I going to do that? So here's the question. I'm receiving these stream of messages and I need to process them all. I don't think I want to do it per press. I think I need to buffer them all up and then run through them all. Then like on the player's update tick, because if you look at main, right, this here sets a key state, so it basically says whether each key is currently pressed up or down, and that is effectively buffering all the key presses, right? That is effectively a key press buffer, just in the form of a true-false state, and then it takes the current state of that and runs through it, and then updates the walk direction based on that. So I either need to replicate the key map, or I need to buffer the messages and then process them all in main. Is the sole purpose of templates to reduce the number of lines of code we write? That is the stated intention. That is the intended purpose of templates, is to be able to generate code at compile time based on the types that you pass into it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your view, I would probably say fortunately, templates themselves are Turing complete, which means you can do a lot of compile time compilation with them, and then you get this thing called template metaprogramming. So it might actually end up being more code. It's kind of hard to say, but yes, ideally the purpose of templates is to be able to have a type-safe way of generating generic code. Yeah, I think I'm going to buffer them, and then we might end. To be honest, we might end up with like an event buffer class anyway. But for now, let's just keep going. So what I'm going to do is let me just bring this over here. So I'm going to have a vector, and then just a vector key event buffer. And then player, I like to default initialize all the members. Anyway, you don't have to, but I like to. Actually, should probably be more in line with that. And then here, this can do key event buffer dot. Should it be a queue? It probably should be a queue, shouldn't it? Just in terms of like semantics. Siboz, thank you for subscribing on Twitch. Very much appreciated. Glad you're here. So dot push event, and then we can do auto player. Let's just bring this up a bit. Update void, and then we can do like while key event buffer dot empty const auto event equals key event buffer dot top, and then at the bottom we'll do key event buffer dot pop. Sorry. It's very hard to interpret text sometimes, but thank you for subscribing. Okay, so now we can. Oh, right, so now, regardless of where those events come from, they will get buffered, and then when it's the player's turn to process, like the player's kind of given a slice of the time loop. Effectively, it's like the player is told to update. It can run through and update them, and now we can start thinking about doing something like main here. We're definitely going to want this. Not there, we're not. Absolutely not there. All right. And then six. Bring that across. Okay, something like this. So we're going to want to bring also. Oh, we've already got the vector. Okay, cool. Probably don't need log anymore. Oh yes, thank you for reminding me, Queco. If you subscribed and you join our Discord, there is a few extra bits of stuff in the Discord as well. So do that if that is your thing. If it's not your thing, then I would probably suggest you don't do that. Okay, I really only care about like a handful of keys, so I think we can probably do something like auto d equals false. And then let's just W, A, S, and D. And then if event dot if event dot key equals gain key A, A equals event dot state equals key state down. So it'll be true if it is. No, wait a minute, hang on. Let me get this right around. What did I do here? If it is down, then it is true. If it is up, then it is false. So these are in the default up position, i.e. they are unpressed. I think that's what I want. What am I using for physics? We have Jolt integrated, but we're not using it at the moment because I kind of took a little bit of step back and reassessed my life, and we don't currently need it for the game mechanics that we're implementing. However, I think we might need it for collision detection later, if not, but maybe not a full physics simulation. I don't know. It's there. My goal, dream, desire, etc. is to only write, I mean, you can say this about anything, but specifically for this project, is only write code that is needed. So I started off thinking I needed a physics engine, and we wrote a lot of code for it, but we've not kind of needed it at this point. So kind of keep a bit more strict with that, if that makes sense. And So that's why we've not done any more on it at the moment. Don't know why I didn't do W first. Keep it in line with that. Oh, right, pig zero this. What's going on? We could, if we wanted to in the future, if we end up writing this code more than once, then I think we'll abstract it again and maybe have better key events. Although actually I think, no, actually ignore that. I don't know what I'm talking about. WA, you got to pass that. You've got to pass this data around some way anyway. Okay. I think that's largely what we want, and then we can go down here, and then we can basically, so after we've computed all this state, we know the direction, we know the walk direction, as in the intended walk direction, and then we can basically just do if D, if A, if W, if S, and let's try and order those a little bit better. Okay. Player controls is tricky, and it's literally like your interface with the game, so if it's not right, then if it feels wrong, then the game feels wrong. So I'm happy to kind of spend a bit of time to try and get it feeling right. And I would be prepared to write duplicate code or slightly messier code if it makes the controllers feel a bit tighter, if that makes sense. Oh my goodness, loads of what's going on. It would be better to make the key bindings configurable, but I don't need that now, so I'm not writing it now. I'm kind of prepared to make some mistakes and go back and backtrack a bit. So yes, it would make sense to be configurable, but I'm not doing that at the moment. Drop Bearware, fellow game dev streamer, glad you're here. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube videos. Well, I assume you enjoy the YouTube videos. Yes, I have an idea for a game. It's a little puzzle game. We've been working on it, sort of like a movement-based puzzle game. Hopefully I can get to the point in this stream where we're back to where we started a few streams ago, and it'll make a little bit more sense what's going on. Hello Harand, glad you're here. What will happen if you press two directions at the same time? This should handle that because it normalizes the direction here, so they'll both be you'll always have a unit vector normalized direction, and then that's why you multiply it by the speed. Both A and D point to camera right. But this is minus, right? Gameplay code that you recognize. Yeah, well, hopefully you can tell me if I get it wrong. Let's see if that blends. You would get on very well with Harand over on YouTube, because he is a C aficionado masquerading as a C++ dev. You should definitely come along to the Discord. It'd be great to have you. I'm also ex-cybersecurity, which is why I kind of do the things I do on YouTube. What am I doing? What's going on? Event references before initialization. Hey? Harand has dragged himself over to Twitch just to, in the hopes there might be someone else who shares his opinions. I am like, by frame dependence movement, do you mean like the fixed time step or the variable time step? So you kind of, your physics always runs at the same tick, but your graphics runs as fast as possible. If that's your query, then yes, I am familiar with it. If it means something else, then no, I'm not familiar with it. I'm just trying to, get something working at the moment, and then we'll go and fix all that misery later. What am I? Oh, is it not top? Is it? Sorry, I'm thinking of stack. That's why it's front, isn't it? Yeah, I am. There is. Let's see. There is like the. I don't know if it is like the article, but it is. There's one I've read before. Where is it? This one here. Where it goes through all the different types, the semi-fixed time step, the physics-free ones, blah blah blah. So I'm aware that this article exists, and I'll probably go and implement it at some point. But for now, I'm confident to keep my mistake. I think we're barely A. Okay, so I think what's important there. I think what's important there is that it didn't work. So I don't know if you can hear that. I'm pressing all the keys, and now it's happening. So where have I gone wrong? Yep, we're just doing Vim and C++ in in WSL using MSVC to cross compile for Windows. That's what we're doing here. Are we updating the camera with the walkthrough? We should be. Absolute idiot! What a fool! What a fool I've been. Just hoovering up all those events and just hoarding them. I've got all the events. I've got them all. Not a single one had slipped past me. Come on. I generally thought that was it. Right, can I, will this work? What I need to set up is a debugger, right? This would make my life a lot easier, and I'm wondering if I should just set that up now. I should probably do this off stream because it's not particularly fun, because I can't remember any of the launch config runes that I need. Yeah, I feel like I try and stream every Wednesday and Sunday, 8 UK time till normally about 10, half 10. So yeah, if you're around, drop in. It's good. We're doing plenty of C++. Well, I'm not really doing C++ at the moment. I'm failing to C++. Pop doesn't return when it pops because you cannot guarantee this. You cannot maintain the strong exception guarantee if pop actually removes it. That's why. So that it's not an oversight. It is the only way to maintain the strong exception guarantee is if pop returns void, which is a little bit annoying because in my mind you pop it and you get it. Top is not a part of the queue API, it's part of the stack API. I got it confused in my head. So front should return the next thing in the queue, and then you process it, and then you pop it off, and then you keep going until it's empty. I just don't understand why that's not working. I'm really worried that if I try and use VS Code, it's going to trash over my my current build. Ooh. I wonder if I can just get Copilot to figure this out for me. Like, please make this debuggable. No, please help me run this under a debugger. Please help. Oh shit. D. Create a launch JSON config. GDB. Oh no, shit! I don't want that. Oh bollocks. Windows launch. Right. Okay. I'm just seeing if I can. Just seeing if I can get a debugger set up to run. So what's this going to be? It's going to be build source game.exe. Build source game.exe. Thank you very much for subscribing. Much appreciated. There is some. If you're interested, there's a Discord and there's a few extra goodies in there for subscribers. But if you're not interested, that is cool. Okay, I'm literally going to spend almost no time doing this because I feel this is something I should do kind of off stream, and I can just work around it with printf debugging. I just don't like it. Source, and then args would be /assets. Is that enough for me to debug? Start debugging. Oh, there's just too much going on. What happened? I feel like it tried to start it. I briefly saw a window flash up. Okay, right. That's good. So 10. Why is my? Okay. Ooh. Okay. Got a window. It's not okay. The arguments are wrong. That is fine. We can fix that. Go away, Copilot. What am I missing? Oh, wait a minute. It should be that. That's the badger. Okay, so if I just F5. If I just F5, okay. I just F5. Okay, that's cool. So now we should be able to do player. I've been training myself to avoid using the mouse, and now here we are. Right, okay, so does this presumably gets called, right? Oh, this is going to make life so much easier. So player gets called, okay. And then this key event buffer currently has 0 events. That's fine. So do we ever get here? Okay, so we do get here, so we do pick up an event and we do process it. And then what is event? What is event? It is key equals A, so this should go in. Okay, and then state is down, so A should now be true. Okay. If A, walk direction, okay, Why is the camera right null? Oh, I think I know why. I think I know why. I reckon that the only reason this is, my hypothesis is the only reason this has worked before is because we have, before we press any key, we've always moved the mouse at least slightly, which has caused which causes adjust pitch, which calculates the right. I bet those aren't called until you move the mouse. It should have an initial direction, right? Because it's set in the constructor. What I don't think it has is the right calculated. So I think if we just do adjust pitch, this is a little bit gross, okay, but I think that will do it. Yeah, I really like the VSC debugger and the Visual Studio debugger. I think Microsoft's debuggers tend to be pretty good. Like, damn it, I thought I had it. Unless it doesn't have, does it not have an initial direction? No, because yours is non-zero, right? Okay, let's try that again. So let's do, we'll do here, okay. This should start, load, oh, I can get rid of this one. Continue on your merry way. And then W, and that stops here. Okay, so camera. Direction. Well, this should work because I have a direction. So why is this not? Oh shoot! Press the wrong button. Okay, walk direction. Is that? So velocity is, makes sense. And then camera translate. So why is that not? Why is that not updating? Is there a... Oh, interesting. Is there a camera... Is there a camera update? There is no camera update, right? No. Have I made a copy of the camera somewhere? Get a const ref to it. Yeah, that's what I was saying. If I made a copy of the camera somewhere. Oh, have I just not updated it since I moved out into the player? Yeah, there we go. Unless no. Ah, whoops. Oh no, wait a minute. This is... Yeah. Play camera, play camera. I thought I updated all these, but apparently I had not. Right. Steady, steady. Stay on target. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. I am not set on the player owning the camera. That was just the first thought that came to my head. Ooh, that's a little bit gross. That's a real stuttery mess. Okay, let's have a look back what we had before. What did we have before? We would process all the messages. It's holding the key down, inserting 1,000,000 events. Could very well be. Let's have a look. Key event buffer dot size. No, it's just processing one event at a time. I think I might... I'm not fussed about where the camera sits at the moment because I fully reserve the right to change this as we go along. I picked a decision and I just wanted to make progress. So, and I'm not actually kind of limited by that at the moment. I think what Das Candy is saying makes a lot of sense if you wanted a much more flexible system. And we might want that in the future. Again, for now, I just want to be able to move around. It's a queue. Why is there a spinner in the game nodes? I don't know, man. No idea. Not even thought about that. Q is what I want, right? Because it's FIFO, so I should process them in the order that I get them. I just can't understand why I can't. Right, but conceptually, the problem I'm having is, the problem I'm having is that I cannot see how this is conceptually that much different to what we had in main that worked quite nicely. All I'm doing is updating the key state, okay, and then based on the key state, I'm setting the warp direction. But this loop here processes all the events and sets all the key states, which is what I'm doing here. I'm just deferring it to an update method. So we think the issue is potentially sending multiple events when the key is pressed down. I think that makes sense. As in, like, I think what you're saying makes sense. And I think you are right. I think the whole point of this messaging system is to abstract over the windowing event system. So the Windows events will fire regardless. I guess it's kind of up to us to we want to build the abstraction on top of all those events. So it should just be, maybe there should just be the messaging system should abstract the events. So we might get loads and loads of events saying this is happening, but the messaging system should only say this state has changed. So maybe I do need to go back to something like this. Oh, thanks for the bits, much appreciated. You're welcome. I've enjoyed the weekend, and new video soon. I'll talk a bit about hang around to the end of the stream, and I will give you almost no details about it, but I will definitely talk about it. New video soon, very soon. Okay, right. So what am I doing? I want. It's impossible to say. So I want a message to be when the state changes, but that's still, whilst I think you are right, I still don't understand why this doesn't work, right? Because isn't this not conceptually the same thing? Aren't I effectively doing that normalization into the state change with this loop, right? Because at the end of this loop, I will know the state of the key. It'll either be up or down. I actually want to see how this changes over time. That's what I'm kind of curious at. How does this change over time? Let's move this down. Okay, so it's... Hopefully everyone can see that. It's definitely 0 then. Okay, fine. If I hold it down, I get a bunch of other... Let's see if I can do this quickly enough. When I press it... Why is that being reset? Oh, because this is local to the function, so every update function it doesn't maintain that state. So this is not the right fix, right? But this will. I realize this is the third time I've said this will fix it, but this will fix it. There we go. Bosh. I'm surprised the barrels have stopped updating, but if I just commented out that code. I will almost certainly not regret this. Should I just use a map? And then I don't have to worry about it. What did I do in main? What was the structure I used? Because I basically want that. I had key state. Yeah, let's do that. So map key to bool, and we'll call that key state, which is annoying because I could have just kept the original code I had rather than rewriting it all to be better and inevitably making it worse. But here we are. We all make mistakes. Okay, so now this becomes this. Oh, actually, this makes it. Oh, this makes it so much easier. Okay, and then we can just do whatever I had down here, which was if key state key W and then key state key S A T dot D and then S W D. No, wait a minute, hang on, what was it? W A S D. Yeah, this, I mean, Reaper, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm happy to explain anything that doesn't make sense. So please do, like, I'm not just trying to game the engagement metrics. Please do write a comment, reach out. I'm happy to explain anything. This is like stream 37 or something, so quite a lot has already been done. But I'm glad you're here. I hope you enjoy it. Does STL function use direct check its cache at the key state? Maybe, I mean, because we're not using STL, I don't know if that's, I don't know if that comment was to me or someone else, because we're not using STL. We do love queuing. That is excellent. So the question is, do we even want to keep the queue, or do we just do this directly there? Yeah, I think there's actually now no even need for the queue, right? Because all we're doing is just doing dynamic memory allocations for no reason. We should just be able to do this. And that simplifies that even more. Nice. Get rid of all this bullshit. Okay, let's see if that blends. It's just the Win32 message handler that the pump function effectively derives from. I've got one of these wrong because I am pressing S. I think D is right. A and S are the wrong way around. Did someone say? I think someone said that. Okay, I think we got there. And for whoever was asking, up in the window class, we have our window proc function and key up and key down just in place messages into a queue in here, and then which I don't think we actually need. I was thinking about this the other day. I think because it's single threaded, I think the queue will only ever contain one item, but I don't want to change it because it works. And yeah, we just turn those Windows events into our in-game events, which we then convert into messages, which we pass to the player, which we use to update the camera, which we're not even sure should be in the player. I will add usability stuff as and when we need to. At the moment, I'm kind of focused on just getting something working. But yeah, I think this is all like menus, key bindings, accessibility, save states, all that kind of stuff is way down the line, like way down the line. At the moment, I'm kind of happy just moving around. There's definitely some issues here because I feel like, didn't we have some debug shapes on these barrels? Let's take one thing at a time. Let's comment this up because we've got key move. Actually, let's tidy up main now. So we don't need this. Need to wire that back up later, so that's fine. That we need to wire up. All this is now incorporated. Oh, it's because this, I haven't got this in yet. Okay, and that's why they're not moving. Okay, that's fine, because we're going to move them all out into like a level class. That's fine. Okay, so let's just comment this up. So where do we get to? Was I right, or was I wrong on that? Ooh. I was right. That's when I'm right. So let's see. Force calculate right in CTOR, and then commit log unhandled messages. I mean, they could do anything at this point. Explode, not explode, move, not move. Who really knows? Almost certainly won't be barrels. These are just some free assets. No, sorry. These are some assets that I paid for. I don't know if they're going to be in the final game. They're just placeholders at the moment. Okay, so let's see. Let's go move player, move camera movement into player. Right. Integrate camera move changes. Okay, right. Now we need to do the mouse. So let's go back to main. So we've got this. We need to update the debug UI as well, so it does the message handling, and we can just put those onto the bus and then pull them off. Yeah, might be a paid DLC for exploding barrels. We'll see. That and some horse armor. What am I doing? Mouse movement. Okay, so let's go to the message bus. So now we've got a new message type, mouse move, and this will be mouse event, auto, post, mouse move, const, mouse event, void, and then message bus. This is going to that should include events, mouse event, and then 20. Just copy this. I feel like there's a template in here screaming to be let out. Class. Hang on a minute. Template class args auto post message game message type auto subscribers args I put those on the wrong way around. And then we should be able to just for auto subscriber in subscribers type. Oh shoot! No, because I'm not going to know the function name, am I? Never mind. Okay. Can I do? Yeah, I'm just thinking if it's even easier than that. subscriber, so forward, args, right? And then something like post message, message type key press, subscribers, auto sub, auto args sub, handle key press. In fact, actually, I don't even need that. Const key event I'm not sure if that's simpler. It's exactly the same amount of lines. It's exactly the same amount of lines. Is there a naming conflict with two events? No, because it's not in the capture list. So this one internally will only be scoped to the argument. If I passed it in as the capture list, there would potentially be a clash. I can't remember exactly how the language rectifies that. But yeah, good point. Okay. Is this better or worse? I guess it does mean if we want to do any logging or anything, we can just do it in one central place. And actually, I guess we could make that even more generic. Let's check it works. Okay. Well, I do like templates, so I guess maybe we'll leave that in there for now. Almost could expose this as a public member, which would then allow anyone to post any message and specify the handler. It's a little bit gross, but if you wanted to, you could bypass this. It might make... I'm not going to, but I reserve the right to change my mind later, because this might make writing certain bits of generic functionality around the message bus easier if we can expose it like this, potentially. But for now, I'll just slap it up here. Okay, so now player needs to handle that. Player needs to have one of these. One of these, one of those, one of the other. Mouse event. It also needs to register for it. I did have this. Oh, I'm glad the thumbnail is the thumbnail is useful. Oh, sorry, you enjoyed the thumbnail. I should spend more time on live stream thumbnails than I do, just because I do not have the time. But I am probably limiting my sort of reach on that content by not doing that. It just means I'd have to do 2 thumbnails a week, and thumbnails is hard and time consuming to get it right. So I don't. But I get a fair amount of reach out the shorts, so that's always good. I had this thought, and I think I need to. I think the thought needs thoughting more about whether you could elide the need for this by checking if the class has overridden the member. And I don't think you can. And I'm just wondering if you can do it without reflection now. I like by comparing the address of the pointers, of the function pointers. Like, is player : handle key press the same address as subscriber handle key press? I think. Yeah, I mean, that is reflection, right? But we're not there yet until we get the token soup. But like, I think in the standard that might be okay. I don't think it's UB, but I don't know if it's implementation defined. Whether they, I mean, they'd have to be unique pointers, right? They'd have to be unique addresses. Is it worth making event groups? Not at the moment, because again, I'm only trying to write code I need, and I don't need that at the moment. At the point where we need event groups, then yeah, it'll absolutely be worth doing it, and we'll sit down and figure it out. But I'm trying to not let the scope get away from me. He says, as he's considering writing some miserable, like, reflection code. What? Because what? Right. What? Right. Let's finish mouse moves, and then we'll come back to that. Let's put a pin in that. And then it's no longer arg, it is event. Where's what? Where do my characters go? Activity. Okay, who? That should be all the plumbing we need. Sad times. What am I missing? Oh, hang on. Yes, well, they're not being made, and that's and that's entirely the problem. Bus dot post mouse move arg. There we go. Right. That was unexpected. I thought player. Oh no, I've lost it. That's why. All direction dot y equals 0.0. Don't know where that has gone. And I definitely don't need that log anymore. Right. Yes. Right, nailed it. I've clipped my wings. That should be, and so add new, add mouse move message. How do I? Right. Commit handle mouse movement in player. Commit integrate mouse move changes in changes. Right, then I want to find it's easy to do this way. So git add that git all. Okay. Git commit fix up. That should have been in handle move camera movement to player. So head tilde 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get rebase dash I 5. Oh, I miscounted me Matildas. There you go. Okay, cool. Getting there. So what I was thinking, right, a little bit indulgent, but is there a way of I need access to the derived type. Can you oh, I mean, it's in the bus, isn't it? So for subscribe, can I like template that on T? Oh, hang on, no. Give me one. What's the syntax? I always forget what it is. There you go. Can I do auto subscribe this auto self? Right. And do something like if decal type self handle key press equals handle key press, then subscribe for key press self stored address of self. Subscriber. I think this might be too complex. I was just thinking, like, it'd be kind of nice if I could just check if the overloaded function was there or not, and then just self-subscribe it. Subscribers forward declared though, that's the only problem. I mean, that's not the only problem, but I think that might be a problem. Hang on, I think this might be in the wrong place anyway. Let's... Yes, it is unnecessary. I'm not going to spend any too much time on this. I am just now kind of curious if it is possible, purely from a intellectual point of view. Void subscribe this auto good luck with that. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. And then message bus. I think that's what I want. So now, if decl type self handle key press this feels better. I mean, it doesn't feel better, but then I should be able to mc dot subscribe message type mouse key press stored address of self. No, wait a minute. What am I doing? Oh, what am I doing? I think I got a little bit carried away there. I think what I want to do is have t obj, and then I should be able to do t equals that, and then subscribe obj. Alright, and then, so now I should be able to remove this and do subscriber subscribe this bus. Let's see if that blends. Sad face. Oh no, I wonder if it doesn't equal that, right? It doesn't. If the class's version of the function doesn't equal that one, then register it. I mean, do we, is this really that bad? Yeah, C++23 introduced deducing this, where you can get access to the implicit this parameter. It is useful. We use it. We actually generally do use it for its intended purpose. Here, it means I don't have to generate const and non-const versions of these overloads, and whatever the other. There's in the paper. There's like, if you're doing it properly, there's like 4 ones you have to implement. I think they're also for like R-value references or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, this is good. It also allows you to simplify the CRTP pattern. That's redundant. The CRTP. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking I might do this, because it doesn't. You can either, it's flexible. You can either subscribe to everything, or you can manually subscribe to individual ones, because this just drives this. It does mean that there's a little bit of extra boilerplate here, but I think that's okay. I need to find a language lawyer to check if what I've done is actually legit. Also, I should actually check, what is this? What's the clang D error? Let me just. Must explicitly qualify name of member function. I mean, it needs like that. Oh, yeah. Yes, if you are a language lawyer, is this a legitimate way of checking whether T has provided an override for a non-pure virtual base method? Like, in my mind it works, because they should have, the addresses should be different, but I'm not sure if the language itself actually it kind of allows that. Oh yes, thank you. Good spot. See, this is the only problem, that it's going to lead to errors like this. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. Yeah, I can't think of any reason why either. But then I say that a lot about C++, and the standard always surprises me. I think it's whether, yeah, like practically yes, but technically question mark. Because the standard doesn't really talk in terms of. Does it talk in terms of function addresses? Because it's part of the abstract machine, right? So I guess the abstract machine must have a unique location for each function. It's also funny about pointer comparison. You are correct. Because it's like, you shouldn't compare pointers that are not from the same contiguous range or something like that as well. Oh, I'm glad you enjoy it. The code I wouldn't argue that this is a good. When you said that the code I write is very readable, this is not a great example of that. This is me kind of bit of a gratuitous indulgence. So we think not equals is fine as long as the pointers are the same type, which I guess they are because they're the same. I could cast those to function pointers with the same signature. So I think this is okay. I mean, it works. I mean, to be fair, I've not tried it yet for multiple things. I've not tried this in the... I suppose we kind of know the failing case. I've not tried this in the case where I don't provide an override, basically. So look out for that bug. Okay, well, I'm pretty pleased with myself. And we like simplify subscription registration. Okay, so what we're missing, we want to bring back this logic here. So I think we're gonna need to pull out a level class. I think that might be a good start. Oh, did I leave some half-written code knocking around here? Which code are you talking about? I think I reversed it. Okay, I think we want... Oh, there's some... I'll have to find it. There's some... Compare pointers on different ranges. It might be you can't use less than on pointers from different ranges. But I'm not a language lawyer, so... this is what I'm thinking of. Okay, according to some programmer dude, comparing two unrelated pointers, i.e. pointers not pointing to the same memory or not pointing to different parts of the same array, can only be done using equality and inequality. All other comparison is unspecified, so you're not allowed to check if one pointer is less than another pointer unless they come from the same array. But you can do equals and not equals. Yes, that's it. That's what I was thinking of. Yes, I thought it was undefined. I've come across this before, and I've definitely had a discussion around this before with someone, and I was just trying to dredge it from the bottoms of my memory. I thought it was undefined, but it's unspecified, and that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it is what it is. Yeah, you can't treat pointers as relative to each other unless you know they are relative to each other, I think is kind of the takeaway. But you can check if one pointer is or not equal to another. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to check for null. Have I used the ternary operator in the code yet? I mean, I'm sure somewhere. I can't think of where. I don't know the reason for it. I don't know if it's a technical limitation or if it's just part of the way the abstract machine, or if it is part of the way the abstract machine is specified. Well, that was a mouthful. Okay, so ideally what I want is data-driven levels, right? I want to be able to specify a level in some sort of format. Ideally something that I can munge into my TLV. I think for now, to keep it simple, I'm going to maybe have a class per level, which is a little bit gross, but I think that's kind of okay, because I want just like separate areas where I can kind of think about levels and build them out, and then just stick those in an array and, you know, have them progress to each other. So it might not be what we end up with, but I kind of think for now, getting us going, that's okay. Let's move to source game. I'm going to create a levels directory, but again, I reserve the right to change this in the future. Yeah, exactly. Class level public private virtual level equals default, because I'm going to subclass it, and then I don't think I do. Maybe I should get one. I think this is just going to be a simple like virtual auto update. I think it's just going to be something as simple as this to just get us going with. It's not great, but I think as a means of kind of just splitting out blobs of level logic into one another, that will be fine. At some point. Okay, no, let's have a think about this, because at some point, excuse me, we have to call this, right? So, hey Corey, today's stream we're just plumbing stuff in. We're kind of trying to break all of the game logic that we had so far, and there wasn't a lot of it, was shoved into main. I'm just trying to pull out some extra classes like a player class and the level class, and we've written a little message bus for passing messages around. It's a bit of kind of housekeeping. How do I manage the memory in my engine? I don't. I use unique pointer and vector, and that's basically it. So I have no fancy allocators yet, because again, we haven't needed them, so I've not written them. Virtual functions just have virtual functions just the cost of a function pointer call, or are they faster, slower? I think this is one of those things that kind of has a little bit of misconception around, and people kind of get the wrong end of the stick. A virtual function will involve, by necessity of how they're implemented, an additional pointer dereference. I don't think that is the massive performance penalty a lot of people think it will be. I think more so is it potentially affects your instruction cache. So if you've got loads of virtual objects with loads of virtual function calls, and you're looping through them and they're all in a random order, so each dynamic dispatch calls a different function, your CPU is going to find it harder to keep those cached. But if you can sort them so that you are more likely to call the same function again on preceding ones, then that will have a massive performance improvement. So it's one of those things where I think people have heard that they're slow and therefore they don't like them. The devil, like all things C++, the devil is in the detail. Yeah, the devil is in the detail, and computers are hard. That's what I'll say. So someone's also saying you can't inline the functions. Also true. Again, without profiling it, it's stuff like this where even I'm here saying, it affects the instruction cache. I mean, I don't, without profiling it, you can't say for sure. I think code for readability, composability, like maintainability, and then profile the shit out of it, and then find where your bottleneck is and spend time optimizing the bottlenecks. If you find that the source of all your misery is because of dynamic dispatch, then sure, optimize, then re-architect it and change it away. I personally don't think it comes down to like what you're trying to achieve as well. Like what is the value you're trying to add to your project or to your business, and often I think the flexibility you get from being able to use virtual calls is greater than the potential performance hit. But it's subject for debate. There's some good CPP-Con talks on it. I don't shy away from it. I think it's useful. And as for where we are in the game, it's really not an issue for us. Need to have a vec of allocated pointers for an array of dynamic stuff. Yes, but that's only if you need polymorphism, right, though? If you know, you don't need to dynamically allocate all those objects. Well, I mean, they'll be dynamically allocated anyway, right? But if it's all the same object, then sure, you can just store those in the vector. But yes, if you need the polymorphism, then you'll have to store it as a pointer. Right. Okay. So what was I saying? We'll go over the current state in a minute. Right. No, they won't be going to, if they're not called through polymorphism, they shouldn't go via dynamic dispatch, right? So they should, if your compiler knows the address of the function it needs to call and the object it needs to call on it, then it will be able to do it. It's the only case when you don't know that, because you've gone through a base class, you have to use that extra level of indirection. You have to go through, I mean, vtable is an implementation detail, right? You can search the standard and you won't find vtable in there. But yes, it'll have to go through the vtable, which is how you implement dynamic dispatch. I mean, you can godbolt this, right? If you throw into, like, write a little example in godbolt and have a look. Okay, so eventually I'm going to need to call render, okay, and that has all this stuff. It has the scene. I think the skybox should be part of the scene, but that's irrelevant. The level should control the scene, so I'm wondering if a level... Yeah, you can with clever use of final, you can devirtualize. You can get the compiler to devirtualize some of these calls. But again, I think if you're not doing it polymorphically, as in through the base reference or pointer, the compiler will know what function you're calling. What was I trying to say? I keep getting distracted, which is fine. Like, I'm quite happy to stand up and talk about C++ for hours, which is what I do. I think the level should be responsible for managing the scene, right? And it needs some state and business logic. So I'm wondering if level, do you give level a scene and then it on each update tick commutate it, or maybe update takes the scene and can update it. I don't know if that makes sense. So the method I use in C with enums and switches is just a half-baked, less dynamic vtable. Without looking at the implementation, I can't say, but it sounds like kind of yes. I mean, if you have an array of function pointers and then you call the right one based on, like, you're kind of using that to abstract away, like, effectively a derived type, then yes. Yeah, I think a level will have a scene. Scene, and then I think this will level scene. I don't really like having reference members, but I can't see us copying the levels around or having to worry too much about that. So I think it probably makes sense. What have I just written? None of that makes sense. Again, it's been a long day. Okay. So a scene is a term that we use for the rendering. So a scene is just a collection of objects that the renderer needs in order to render everything. So it has lights, so it has entities, and it has lights, and it has some debug information. So the idea is that a scene is just a collection of things that the renderer can render, and we'll hand that over to it. It's an abstraction over all this misery. So effectively, a level will be dynamically building and managing a scene. In fact, actually, I wonder if even... I wonder if that's better, actually. The level can own its scene entirely. It doesn't have to be passed in one. It doesn't have to worry about references. It owns a scene, and then you can kind of just get a const reference to it, which means you can then just whack that straight into the renderer with the player camera. So no, the level... So yeah, I think maybe I've got slightly confusing terminology here, and I do apologize. This is the problem when you do things organically rather than kind of thinking too far ahead of time. A scene is a collection of rendering primitives, effectively. It's a collection of things that you need to render. A level will own the scene, but it will also have the logic for how that level should progress. So it will know how to build the... it will know how to build the scene. It will know how to manage the scene. It will know how to define when the level is complete. It will keep track of state and what the player is doing. So yeah, so it's rendering order in a way. Yeah, basically. And I think I want something like that. This comes up every stream, and to all the regulars, apologies for hearing it again, but I kind of like this when this question comes up because it means someone's new, so welcome. This is called trailing return type. It's been in the language since C++11. I wanted to give it a try, basically. I have no better excuse than this is an alternate way of writing C++ code that I've never experienced. This is my code base, and I wanted to kind of commit to a sort of small to medium-ish sized project to see if I liked it. And so far, I quite like it. I found myself almost muscle memory writing this now as standard. So I'm kind of getting used to it. Reference to a next level. Oh, now that is something I had not considered. I think for the moment I'm going to keep it simple. I suspect there'll be an array of them or a vector of them in main, and then every time you call complete, it will just load the next one. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Because that way the level doesn't have to worry about what comes after it. But it's an interesting idea. I didn't think of that. I could just make this header only. Is it worth making a CPU file for just one method? Probably not. The only problem now is I'm going to have to give names to all these levels. I don't really want to do level 1, 2, 3, and 4 because that implies an ordering. So source game. Let's just do like test level, which is a terrible name, and I already hate it. Yeah, I was literally just thinking like having some sort of naming convention for them. Fruits could work. I'm just going. At the moment, all the scene primitives are added in the like right at the start of main, but I want to shift those all over to this. I kind of like fruits now. So in fact, let's get rid of this. Levels, level apple. Game levels level, and then we'll do space game, and then we'll do class level apple equals a public, not equals, it derives from a public level, and then we'll have a steady public. Just already spotted a bug. Probably want the derived class to be able to access that. That seems only fair. I think I can do level apple override equals default. And then I want these. Okay. Oh, hang on. Override. Yeah, we can. The only problem we put in the content description, the level name, is that if you change it, like you'll have to keep changing the file name, or you won't, and then it'll get confusing. So I think having it totally abstract, I prefer. Yeah, great question, AC. We were just trying to get started with something that allows us to have a couple of levels and cycle through them. Eventually, it will be more data-driven, where it'll take like a YAML file or something from the TLV. So I'm kind of writing this to throw it away a little bit, but I just want to get something going and start having just like a collection of small levels we can kind of cycle through, and then that's something I can maybe even release to people to have a play around with, and then we'll abstract, maybe even have to make a level editor. We do use friend, but very strictly we use it in the pass key. So this is an idiom which allows you to give more fine-grained control over a class than friend. So for instance, it's in the physics stuff, isn't it? So for instance, here, only the physics system can construct the passed key, which means only the physics system can construct shape. So it means that shape itself doesn't have to make the hot physics system a friend. So the physics system doesn't get any more insight into shape other than just being able to construct it. And I think the best example of this is we use it in one of the debug methods, didn't we? I'm sure. It's used somewhere that's not in a... Is it not used in one of them? There you go, debug draw. So when we add the pass key to the debug draw, it means only the physics system can call the debug draw method. No one else is allowed to call it, but it doesn't. But physics system doesn't have access to anything else inside this class. Hey Mike, I'm glad you enjoyed them. I enjoy making them. Thank you for coming along. I wouldn't say it was any less sweaty. It's very hot in this tiny sort of like 3x2 meter office. I hope you got some good loot from your quest, from your adventuring. I've completely lost the plot of what I was doing now. Levels. Sure. Go for it, if you've got a random question. No, I'm not from London, but I am really bad for picking up idioms and mannerisms from other people I spend time with. So I will subconsciously, I must have been around or worked with someone who says that because I've picked it up. I'm just a sponge for weird nomenclature and like I say, sort of idioms and colloquialisms. So, but no, I do not, or have not ever lived in London. You wouldn't recommend it? Again, without doxing myself too much, I go to London fairly regularly for work. I would say quite frequently, normally a couple of times a week. But I've never lived there and kind of surrounded myself with, what am I trying to say? I've never lived there, so it's unlikely I would have picked up like a regional dialect or anything. So this level will never be completed, and it will do absolutely nothing in the update. Oh, we're going to need a constructor, aren't we? Because this is how we're actually going to build out the level. The distant plan is to have it more data driven. So ideally like a YAML file or something that I can convert into the TLV when we do the resource packing. So, all your resources and all your level data is just in that, compress it, stick it into the executable as a resource, and I kind of want the game to my aim is to have the whole game self-contained in one file, so you just have the executable, and then when you run it, it automatically decompresses and unpacks everything from there, maybe stores it in a temporary directory. I haven't really thought that far ahead, but it doesn't really matter at that point. You should be able to ship a single file and people should be able to play it. Yeah, I mean, I'm more concerned with doxing about like where I live and stuff like that. I'm not too fussed about what I've already publicly put on the internet, if that makes sense. I try not to give too much away about my specific movements in this world. I think if you are struggling with NeoVim, I would suggest what would I suggest? Kickstart. This is what I started with, is Kickstart. I would 100% recommend this. It's basically a set of default plugins, and it's a good starting point for NeoVim. It gives a lot of sensible config, a lot of sensible plugins. It kind of just works out the box. So yeah, and it's kind of nice because it's you clone their Git repo and then you make changes to it. That's kind of how it's set up. So you can then effectively fork it and automatically track your changes in Git. I push all mine up. Like my config is on my GitHub somewhere. I'm not answering that. Okay, so let's see if we can bring over everything from we've got so far. So I think we might be able to just like lift and shift a lot of this over. The only issue I have is like the lifetime of the meshes and the materials and the shaders. I think those, for now, I'm going to stick them in the level. I think ultimately they will need to be in some sort of cache which we can reference, because again, you don't want to be loading all these every time. But I think for now, I think a lot of this we can kind of move out. Another Mike who enjoys the channel. Hello, glad you're here. What of these has a lifetime issue? I think they all do, because they are all RAI'd, right? So as soon as they get a scope, it will delete the underlying OpenGL buffer. Oh, I could just pass them into the level for now, so we're going to change this all in the end anyway. I think the entities definitely should be belonging to the level. That makes sense, right? Those should be constructed and destructed when the level starts and ends. I think all this chuff here, I think I'm just going to pass in. It's not pretty, but it kind of gets us going, and then we can abstract that later on. So I think what I want to be able to do is all the entities should, and the scene should come out. So can I mark that? And then do the A. And just like slap all that in here. Yeah, we're kind of doing level and scene management at the moment. Currently it's going to be a little puzzle game. I'm hoping we can get to the point where I can show you what that looks like, but we're in the midst of a pretty big refactor, so it's in kind of a sad state. Does the level want gamma, or I'm going to leave that out because I feel that would be a setting globally for the game, so that would exist in some sort of settings. So I'm going to leave that here. So let's go. We're going to want source game. Right, hang on. Right. Include graphics mesh. Should graphics. I remember when we were just writing OpenGL code for texturing and meshes and stuff like that. I miss that. It's more fun than writing a game. And then graphics material. And then this can take a const mesh floor mesh, const material floor material. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to abstract all this at some point. It's already grim. Oh Jesus, what is textures when it's at home? Was that an array? Was that a vector of textures? Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? Feels like it should be a span then. Because I want it to be non-owning. I just need access to it to build all my stuff. So no, didn't we take the sampler and embed it in the texture? So isn't it now just a span of const? I remember doing all this. Textures, right? And then floor, and then oh, hang on, all done. Barrel. I think it's a good question. Like, why am I passing these in the constructor? This is not definitely going to be the best code we write. This is something just to kind of get us started with abstracting stuff out. All the lifetime of all this stuff is kind of not relevant, I don't think, to the level. Potentially, I think the level should pull these from somewhere else, but I don't want to rewrite too much at once. So I'm going to effectively dependency inject them into the class. the class can then build out the actual entities that it needs, and then from there, once that's working, we can look at improving that. All these warnings will disappear when my terrible tooling catches up. Well, a lot of them will. All right. Right, okay, so a lot of these now should go away, so that should be floor material. Okay, and then, so we've already got the scene, so we should be able to cf equals c. Muttering Vim commands under my breath again. Where's this transformed entity live? Is that just like, did I just slap that in main? I did. Where's that gonna go? Yeah, eventually we'll have some sort of global managers and we'll pull from those. This is grim, because basically all this needs to live together. Well, actually, those lambdas don't, because those are level specific, so those will live in the level CPP file, so that's fine. So I guess it's just... Where are they going to live? I think I'm just going to stick them in the source game. Oh, transformed. Still not entirely happy with that name either, but here we are. Turns out there's a lot about my own code I don't like. Okay, so game D2F gone. Let's just get rid of all this. Right, we're gonna need some includes. Include maths, AV, hash include camera, hash include maths. Vector, hash include graphics entity. Nope. Text entity. Okay, sure. Hash include game chain. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay. So now that I've done that, back to our level, sort out this misery. Graphic, nope. Game transform entity, and then actually as well. level game transformed entity, and then I need one of these, one of those, a little bit of this, a little bit of the other, and then we'll be good to go. Stud vector transformed entity. Entities. Okay, and then okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, back to main. Take all these. Stick these up in an anonymous namespace. Keep them nice and keep them safe. Keep them secret. Ooh, this needs to go somewhere like maths, but for now. But for now, it can live in here with the rest of the code. Yeah, I'm like kind of putting ClangD through its paces a little bit, especially as it's not been properly configured until I run the weird mystical compdb tool I have to run. But it's fine. It's fine. So that can go, and then entities. How thoughtful and considerate of you. Okay. Okay, what is reader when it's at home? TLV reader. Okay, just stick a few more resources in, a few more dependencies in here. TLV reader, and then I guess this will be a const TLV reader. Please do as I tell you. Const TLV reader. Okay. And then I think I need to actually stick these game graphics cube app. Graphics. What we need to do as well, there's lots of things we need to do. We need to smash the sampler into the cube map like we did with the texture. There's no need to keep those. I want them as separate OpenGL primitives, but I don't necessarily need them separate in terms of our abstraction. Yeah, sorry, it's the Dracula theme. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with questions as well as like fix my terrible code. Yeah, thanks, catch you later. I'm glad you're here. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you in the next one. Terrified of shipping a bad game, so your strategy is to simply never ship a game. Can't argue with that. So these now will come up here, and then we'll basically move down, steady, and we'll merge these here. And that should be entities and skybox sampler. Okay, I'll do that, and then I think it's like scene dot skybox equals skybox, and then scene. Oh no, wait a minute. It's not in the scene yet, is it? We'll have to move it into scene as part of this. I can't see any other way. Like, it's going to be, I'm not exposing these as public methods. What a pain. Oh, it's already 20 past 10. I am skeptical how far we're going to get tonight, but let's see. Nope, I've not tried Zig. It's on my to learn list along with every other language that is kind of interesting at the moment. Okay. What a hot mess I've made. What an absolute mess. I think we're just going to start compiling this and figuring out the bugs as we go along. So let's go main, and then can I do like remove all unused includes? Although it does get rid of log, if I remember correctly, which is fine. Hash include game levels. Level apple. And then after all this, we are going to go here. Nope, floor texture, floor mesh. I feel like this should be moved a bit further down. Don't need the key state anymore. Oh my goodness, this state's going to have to go in as well. Oh, shoot. And then the state's going to need to be updated based on the player. I guess update could take the player. That would make sense. Yeah, I think we are just going to slog on. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to slog on fully tonight, but I'll keep going for a little bit longer. But yeah, I think we just got to power through this. Let's go. So, but I keep seeing things that need to move around. Auto level equals game level apple. This is, I mean, this kind of refactor was inevitable just based on the kind of way we've been developing this, which is just like one thing at a time. So I think I've got a floor mesh, and then I think isn't it called something like the checkerboard material, and then floor textures, and then I think it's called mesh material textures, and then reader. Okay, and then we'll do the player update, and then we'll do the level update. And then cmake all right, let's just start fixing this. Yeah, that is true. So source game level cmake list.text. Oh. Have I got it? Have I put it in the wrong? Oh, thank you. Glad someone's paying attention. There is no way this will work, yeah. Right, where are we at? Left of camera, so let's go through and fix up level CPP first. Where are we at? 42. Oh, because I said this, didn't I? That you need to bring this state. Jesus, what happened there? Where's the state? Where's? Oh, it's because these are now namespace, aren't they? No, that's fine. That's fine. I believe this is now game that. Okay. 70. Okay, that's just a syntax error. That's nice and easy. Skybox is not a base number. I think it is. If I spelt it differently. Nope. Add that to bingo cards. Forgot to save the header file. It's almost like I don't know what I'm doing. Not bad. Getting less. Okay. Main. Oh, do I have to pass them all as pointers? Is that my sin? Yeah. Okay, fine. That would be terrible. Please don't do that. I've been staring at C++ errors for too long now. Definitely doesn't like my span. But I don't know why. Oh, because I can't just blindly do this, that's why. Okay, right. So what do you mean? If I accidentally remove that header. Just okay. Where? Oh, because it needs scene, so it needs level dot scene. Don't know what. I must have been having a funny 5 minutes when I didn't make all these const last time. I'm pretty pro const. Okay, starting to get there now. It's because from the debug UI you can add lights. That's why. So this is why. I'm just going to remove that functionality for now because and you can change all the light colors as well, can't you? And the position. Yeah, it does. Oh, that's so annoying. There is a solution to this. I don't particularly like it, but I think for now it's kind of okay. I think it's easy just for it to just return a mutable scene that other people might need to mutate. I don't particularly like it, but I think it's kind of enough. Sort of, having now said this for several hours, I kind of just want to get it building. What? Well, I'm not making it public. I'm still going to put it through this because I am expecting to want to change that in the future. But yeah, it's not great. What have I done wrong? Return it. Of course, this can no longer be const. That's why. Yeah, thanks. We got there. Okay, we're getting there. So, so this state now needs to move into level. So I think update is going to take a Does the level own the player? No, let's not get into that for now. We're just going to stick that in there for now. Yeah, thanks for coming along. I'm not a million miles away myself from doing that, so but I think we're real close. I think we're real close. Okay, so I need this state. So I want a game transform state. Oh, I have to pass the player into the constructor as well, aren't I? That's fine. These are all solvable things. So now, hopefully, I can just take this, go over here, slide it in here, place that, J that. Isn't what you're describing Objective-C? Like, you can just send messages to objects that don't necessarily exist. Like, you kind of shove that over to the right runtime. No, I have a Razer Huntsman Mini. The cable doesn't pull out far enough. There you go. There's 25% of it. Right, come on. We're so close. We're nearly there. And then when you update the state, so that in there, then this goes over to here. Right, come on. Okay. We need that. I can feel it. It's exciting. Okay, so this obviously now needs the player, which assumes I've already constructed the player, which I think I have. I would like a ranger's key. That'd be pretty sweet. Okay. 165. What's wrong with this? Yes, need to pass in the player. Okay, and then finally, right. Right. Bit I didn't want to do, but I've now decided I'm going to have to do is to move, which I should have done a while ago. But here we go. Hash include graphics cube app. Hash include graphics sampler. And then we're going to have a const cube map skybox const sampler skybox sampler, and then that means these drop off, and then the renderer, these drop off, and skybox comes from scene dot use. Oh no, I still need the material, don't I? Here we go. Scene dot skybox scene dot skybox sampler. I think that's all. Ooh, steady. That's all we need. Steady. Scene dot skybox sampler. Okay, and our main isn't going to like this. It should like that. Have I deleted too much? No. What's complain about? Okay, and then back to level. We should be able to do scene dot skybox equals skybox scene dot skybox material sampler equals skybox sampler. Right. God, we're so close. Oh, of course, it's now level dot scenes now. Oh, we just straight up crashed. Yeah. These look fine. Like this mesh here looks like legit, right? Okay. So why is this returning garbage? Oh, I'm just using it. Where using sampler is uninitialized. Oh, we're just using it as a debugger. Why is... Oh yeah, this is all garbage. So that's fine, but... Okay, I think... I got the sampler here, right? Is this not it? And then constructs it here. Okay, well, I'm gonna have like one little look at this and then I'm gonna call it because I am exhausted. Oh, I know why. It's because this entity here is stack allocated, and then I just keep a pointer to it. Yeah, that's never going to work, is it? I don't know why I don't just push that back into the same. Why? I kept them separate for a reason, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was so I could attach a light to them and not have to disambiguate them. But I think I should be able to just do. No, because entities is different. That's for a transformed entity, and the floor won't have like the chain or anything on it. So I think I should just be able to do entity floor. All right, and then just move this up to here. Right, and then right, let's try again. It's even worse. Oh. What? What? It might have been because VS Code was still running. Yeah, I think you might be right. Yes! We've achieved exactly what we started with, but in better code. I'm going to bring in all the chains and wire them all up next time. I've just, is it easy to do? Hang on. Let's just have a quick look. I think it's quite easy to do. I think I just need to do this. All right, up here, and then in here. And then I just want right, super quick, see if that works. Ah, there we go. Let's just see if the check the frustrum still works. If I don't look at this one, move him around, he aims there. Okay, nice. I'm going to comment that up another day. I think the there's quite a lot to go through. Yes, but it's now easier to extend, so that's okay. Which button do I want? Do I want this one? I think I want this one. Cool. Okay. Oh, I've got. Is anyone still on YouTube around? Let me give out there's a gift. Yeah, I can still do this. Gift. Oh, I've done all 10. Sorry to get your hopes up there. I thought I had one left. Never mind. You just have to do it the old-fashioned way. Apologies, but I am close. Nearly done with the next video. For anyone who's interested in the videos, I have I've got 2 thumbnails designed. I don't quite like the color grading, but they just need a little bit of tweaking in Photoshop. But I've got 2 thumbnail designs. I've got a title, scripted, and I filmed, and I'm about a third of the way through the editing. So next week, ? Hopefully. Yeah, I'm hoping soon we'll have there'll be another video up. I'm exhausted. I need beer, and I need some sleep. So thank you everyone for coming along, and it's been a good one today. Got quite a lot done. Wednesday, as per, we'll keep writing more code. We're just gonna write more code. Have a good one, everyone, and I'll see you then.